armed robbery and murder. Who are these violent youth? They come from all segments of society, but most grow up in poverty and in chaotic homes, victims of neglect, their normal childhood needs unsatisfied, inadequately educated, without suitable models for appropriate behavior. They come into adolescence insecure, frustrated, and hostile. Their rage often explodes in criminal behavior. A decade or so ago, one rarely heard of youths talking of crimes of armed robbery and of murder without a hint of remorse.
The whole thing. We was out there that afternoon. We ain't had nothing to do, right? So me and a couple more of my friends, right, I had a shotgun, and one of them had a shotgun. We had 2 pistols, right? So we was walking down Lenox Avenue, right? You know, the tourist buses that come from, you know, like Jersey or downtown, they ride around the sightseeing in Manhattan. Like when the bus stopped for the red light, one of my friends ran over there and cut it off with this switch they got in the back, and we stand outside and wait till the bus driver came out, you know, to check and see what happened to the bus in the back. And when he came out, we had shotguns and pistols, and we ran on the bus with shopping bags and masks on our face. You know, we told everybody sit down on the bus and be cool. We took what was on the bus, all the money and their jewelry.
I told him I ain't do nothing, son. If you don't leave me alone, I'm just gonna have to hurt him, so just keep away. But man, you know, I ain't have nothing to do. His son appeared to got mugged, something. I don't know. I was just standing there, you know, and there was a whole bunch of Puerto Ricans. Now the man now come blaming it on me, because I'm Spanish, you know. So he tried to charge me. When he charged me, I stabbed him.
You had a knife, though, in the first place. Why did you have the knife?
I wasn't gonna shoot him.
Do you usually carry a knife?
No. I carry a gun everywhere I go.
You do? Is it easy to get that gun?
For me, it is.
Uh-huh. Where do you get it?
That's between me and whoever gives it to me.
How shall we treat juveniles involved in serious crime? 2 views.
You know, we put people into a prison or into a facility not only to rehabilitate them, but we put them there for punishment and as a deterrent for themselves and others who see that they are being incarcerated. We also put to a facility protect society. When they're in a facility, they're not out robbing or committing burglaries on the streets.
I think it's 98% of people who are locked up are going to return to society. Sometimes I don't think society recognizes that. And when he is returned, if you can build the odds up so you think he's going to make it, you better let him go at the appropriate time. There are plenty of statistics and research figures to show that after a certain point in incarceration, the person becomes worse, becomes bitter. And that when he reaches this optimal moment, and I think this is very true in Scandinavia, you release him then, because he's going to go back at some point anyway. And whether we protect society in 1975 from this individual, or release him in 1977 when we know he's going to kill somebody again, I think we better release him now while we all have a better chance.
Because they were under 16 years of age when arrested, John and William were treated under the law as juvenile delinquents. Because of the serious nature of their crimes, they were sent to the Center for Boys at Goshen, New York, the state's most secure facility for juveniles, although it is far from being escape-proof. Rehabilitation of the boys who come here is difficult and mostly unsuccessful. 71% of the boys who leave Goshen are rearrested, and almost half of those are convicted. Richard ran away from another state school with 2 other boys, broke into a house, and waited for the owners to return.
They came home and we hid. Then when they both got into the dining room, the other kid jumped out with one of the rifles. He told him to stand still, and then we came out and asked them for their money and their car keys, and we left.
You also threatened to kill him, kill the wife if the husband didn't come in the house. When you ran away from Tryon, the people up there might feel, oh, Richard, he might run away again. But now that you took a gun and a machete and you threaten people, the general feeling about you and your 2 pals is that he might commit another criminal act. And Our job here is to deal with it.
Well, but it'd be up to me how long I wanted to stay here then.
The principle is to permit them to establish relationships with other people that are meaningful as a prototype for doing that when they get outside. You see, if a boy is violent and he has a history of assaulting people in the streets, mugging people, maybe shooting people, he comes here, of course his impulses are the same. This is what life is about. And so you see, when they come to a setting like this, our bucolic surroundings, and we treat them in a rational way, I think many of our kids don't understand it, very frankly. I think that they see it as like another world. Invariably, they come from a disordered, disorganized family. That half our kids receive no visits, sometimes no mail at all, during their stay here. The families are very often chaotic. Sometimes the nature of the family is such so that thinking in a violent way, thinking in a criminal-like way, seems appropriate to the kid. They are confronted daily by their actions, not only by their peers, but by staff as well.
But you thought they didn't want you back in the community?
No, it's not that, because ain't nobody helping me.
When you say no one is helping you, who do you mean?
Anybody.
The staff here at the institution?
Staff coordinators, director, assistant director, everybody that's got keys to the place, they ain't helping you.
Either they're not getting rehabilitated or they're not getting the treatment, because the net result is that these serious offenders become our recidivists, and they are the ones that are repeatedly committing the serious crimes in our area. I feel that somewhere along the line, either the treatment has failed or there is no treatment.
In the past couple of weeks, you guys and other boys here have been stealing weapons. You've been stealing handles, you've been stealing knob handles to put in socks, you know. You're playing the big game, the correction department game. And you're doing it because you're juveniles. I want you to know what the public is saying about you guys all over the state. They're telling us to lock you guys up. They're telling us to send you guys into the correction department. And I want to make a promise to you. If you assault a staff member, Donald, I want you to listen because this is serious stuff. If you assault a staff member, if you're 16, that day you're going to jail. Because there's no way...
Jail. Punishment. Herman believes that threatening a boy interferes with gaining the trust which is necessary to effect positive change. But he must confront boys with reality. Breaking the law brings punishment.
We try to do it in such a way so that a staff member is personally involved, personally upset. Maybe it'll teach him, you know, people are concerned about other people.
The fence that separates Goshen from the outside is not that hard for these boys to climb. Since we filmed his first interview with the director 4 weeks ago, Richard has run away from Goshen. Twice.
Sounds like you're going to spend a lot of time trying to run away again then. But we are going to pick you up and you're just going to be in more trouble, and I don't know, that bothers me. Maybe it doesn't bother you, but it bothers me. He's symbolic of kids that we find very hard to reach because we create this society here at Goshen, and we say, okay, now this is your new culture, your new society, and these are the rules. But if you've never related to a society, if you've never related to school or to your parents or to any rules or regulations in life, whether they're internal regulations or external, then how can you relate to this place? In other words, at some point, if this kid ever settles in and just follows the rules, it'll be a big step forward to him, because maybe this will be the first experience where he's ever had that. It sounds to me as if it will be. The leverage that we have is apparently he's concerned about one or two of the men here who he might have gotten into trouble by running out while they were on duty. But the fact that he's concerned about them is a positive, you know, it's positive.
When this interview was filmed, William, with a long record of felony arrests, had been at Goshen for 13 months.
What about the kind of things you got mixed up in before?
Might be like that. I hope it ain't. I'll try not to.
What do you mean might be like that?
It might, you know, because I ain't going to work not unless they find a job for me before I leave here. You know, or I ain't going to be working.
All right.
I just be getting back in the same thing, that's all.
Getting back into the same thing.
Yep, what I'm here for.
Like what?
Armed robberies.
What about if you happen to kill someone?
It got to be like that.
What do you mean? What do you mean,
You
Terry?
know, I just got to do it. If that's the only way I can get away by killing somebody, I do it.
Get away from what?
From whatever I'm doing. If I'm robbing a store and I got to kill somebody to get away, I do it.
Well, what does your girlfriend feel about this attitude of yours?
You know, she be telling me I should be cool, right? I shouldn't do this, and I tell her that I'm not doing it no more, then I still be doing it, but she don't know about it. You know, she
You mean you lied to her?
Yeah, I lied to her.
That's unusual because you've never kept anything from me.
I tell her that though. You know, so she don't know what I be doing. Like I told her I had a job working, and she believed it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell her that.
But meanwhile, you were robbing.
Yep.
Right? And if necessary, shoot to get out of something.
That's right.
How often did you pull a trigger?
A couple of times.
Who were the people that you shot? Old people, young people?
Kind of young people. 'Cause old people usually do what you tell them to. But the young people, they always gonna try to be heroes, like try to grab you, stuff like that. Try to grab you. Don't want to listen to what you tell them, though.
Do you always have a gun?
Most of the time, when I go somewhere, I have a gun. Most of the time.
There's really very, very little that stands in your way of doing anything.
Right, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
Like in court, what happened there? I heard about it, but I don't know the details.
I just ain't like how the judge was telling me to shut up, and I ain't like when she kept telling me to shut up, and she was remanding me for a couple of weeks. And about near the last time I came, I tried to throw a chair at her.
Would you have killed her if you could have?
If I could have, I would have.
I don't recall his uttering anything except a four-letter word when he was asked something. He was a boy who showed no anxiety, who showed no remorse, who did not conceive of any other way of life other than the criminal way of life. That he had homicidal ideation was one of the diagnoses, although he had not actually killed anyone. And that, unfortunately, the psychiatrist could not suggest any form of treatment for him.
My feeling, I'm gonna stay here for a couple more weeks, and I'm gonna cut out again. If they don't release me, I'm gonna cut out again.
How would you get out?
I go out the best way I know how. If I got hit the staff to get out, I'm gonna get out.
A week later, on an off-campus trip, William absconded. Warrants were issued for his arrest.
Weren't you taking a chance at letting him go off the grounds? Why let a boy out where he can possibly abscond when you don't have to?
Because that would mean that we would have to keep, say, 90% of our kids locked in here for the 18-month period that they were remanded to us for. Because everybody is in that category. And everybody's potentially dangerous who comes here. That's the nature of this place. And I think that if we did that, number one, we'd have a lower success rate. We would be producing more chronic-type criminals. It would occur anyway. They would break out of here. The roof would come off this place. And I'm not saying that we send them out on a trip because of this, but I'm saying we send him out on a trip because he's in our program. This is the best program that we have been able to devise with the staff and the money that we have.
I think if I were in the position of the director of the training school, I would have been tempted to give William the reward of an off-campus trip, but we should consider not only his rehabilitation, but the protection of the community as well. The risk to the public, that is, the people on the streets and in the subways of New York City, to be precise, from his running away and being back without any kind of supervision or control.
2 weeks after he absconded from Goshen, William was arrested for armed robbery and imprisoned. Since he is now 17, he becomes subject to adult criminal laws. He wrote a letter to staff members at Goshen.
The reason I'm writing this letter is to say, before you send my brothers back on the street, see what you can do about getting them a job, because the streets ain't what's happening. I've been out there, and now I am in here, and I know whoever lives in the city will be here, too. Like now I'm in a jam, but I think I will get around it. But I will say this, you did what you could do for me, and I thank all of you. And what interests me about this letter is that this isn't the kind of letter that psychopaths write. You know, in other words, what it reveals is that there were some connections back in Goshen.
John is scheduled to leave Goshen in a couple of days. He's been there for homicide for 10 months.
I get the feeling that you're not as serious about your future or getting out of here as when I first spoke to you.
I'm just getting tired of being pushed around.
What does that mean?
For example, you know, the staff. I don't like the way they talk to me. I don't like, go down your room, wash up. Can I go to the toilet, guy? You know, that's ridiculous, man. You don't tell nobody when to go to the toilet. You gotta go to the toilet, go to the toilet.
So you don't like what? You don't like the pressure?
I don't like the pressure they put on me. I gotta ask to go to the toilet.
You want to know something? I don't think we put enough pressure on you guys here.
That's your feelings. My feelings are different.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is that the only purpose of the school is to set you up so when you get out of here, right, you can handle pressure without doing something stupid. I want to ask you a question, right up front. Why should we release you?
What?
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. I'm tired of being locked up. Tired of making my family suffer. You know, and I want to settle down, you know. Get out of the life of crime all the time. It's no good.
Well, I know that the staff back there feels that your thinking has changed. I mean, if we release you, that's the reason we're going to release you, because they think you've changed up here.
I have some serious doubts that you're going to make it in the street. If you're basing your whole thing on, you know, trust of one person. You know, you're the guy that's got to do it. You're the guy that's out there.
I'll tell you, just like I tell you, I only trust a few people.
When you released John, who's been arrested for 2 homicides, were you confident that he was no longer dangerous to the community?
There is no way that you can say that we are sure that anybody is going to make it who gets out of here, who gets out of a mental hospital, or who gets out of a prison. There is no way to do it. All that you do is deal with odds.
They send them to the training facility, and now, depending on their conduct in the training facility, their length of stay is determined. Unfortunately, some of these young people that commit these vicious crimes, streetwise youngsters, know that if they play the game, they'll be out rather quickly. And they do play the game. And I think a study has been made to indicate that none of these youngsters serve the maximum sentence of 18 months. Most of them are out 3 or 4 months after they've been committed.
Our only hope, again, going back to a pragmatic philosophy, is affect the person, see if you can divert him and turn him around, because he's going to be released anyway.
John is at a New York City residence run by the Division for Youth.
I feel free, you know. I look outside the windows, out to the dirty streets. The streets, you know, when you raised up in bum areas, man, that's what you used to, you know, because you got most of your friends there.
The house, which accommodates 9 boys, is a base for John's gradual return home. He is to live here for at least 13 weeks.
If I flunk the test, why can't I leave?
Why do you want to flunk the test?
Because I want to leave.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, you want to go to school to be a drummer, is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, is there anything in school besides tapping on the desk? Tapping on a little thing?
Yeah.
What else do you have to do? You have to read?
That's right.
Okay, so you have to go. Now, I know that he's changeable when he comes in here. People on the outside functioning, his boss, for example, he has a job, he goes in, the guy expects him to come in a certain way every day. He comes in here and I'd fire him if this was his job, because he comes off the handle sometimes. He's one day he's angry, one day he's nice, next day he's angry, next day he's angry. It's very difficult. He has a lot of calming down to do before he'll be ready to really function well on the outside. You can get out of school when you get out of this program, because you're old enough. But as long as you're in the program, you will be in school. I will see you every day. You will go through this. You will work on fractions. You will work on decimals. You will work on schoolwork.
Keep thinking that.
I keep thinking that. and you keep doing it.
That's what you think.
I know.
I do them and get them wrong.
Let's go back to this. Write down problem number 2. Write down the second problem.
I think that the odds for his making it are much better than for a lot of other guys who will get out of here sooner or later. If he does get a job, and what the recession is going to have to do with things like this, I don't know. If he does get a job, and if he does, like, conduct regular relationships with his family and his girlfriend, he could very well make it. He could become, you know, a successful adult. Suppose he doesn't get his job. Suppose the family breaks up. Suppose his grandmother dies and his girlfriend leaves him and this and that. He might still have the capacity to meet other people and make it. No guarantees.
There are at this moment about 100,000 youngsters in trouble with the law. There is general agreement that current remedies have failed both them and society. Some experts advocate greater support for the present type of rehabilitation program. Others urge a return to punishment as treatment and deterrent. But none would dispute the need to develop new ideas and more effective strategies in combating this urgent social problem.